Ever since I was little, I've always had a passion for tinkering and building. I was captivated by the challenges and satisfactions that are provided when building. This is something I made, and I'd like to explain the history and how it works, but more on that later. Hopefully, at the end of my quest presentation, you'll understand how this can help us win in the war against climate change. How did I first become interested in this topic? Well, that was also my question. In the beginning, I was at a loss for what I should do for my quest, but then someone brought up the idea of learning about renewable energy. My journey on this quest started when I was a toddler. My quest then was to hunt down broken things around the house and fix them, well, at least try and fix them. Then, at around the age of 8 to 10, my quest was to satisfy my creative needs by building. Eventually, I found out that electricity didn't just exist in batteries and wall sockets, and that it could be generated through a very simple method called electric induction. Well, the concept was simple. When a magnetic field passes through a copper wire, it creates a current. And by increasing the amount of wire you cut through and the speed you cut through it, you can get this. Bear with me, this might take a moment. Oh, I skipped so much. So when I was asked what I wanted to do for my quest, the idea of learning about wind power sprung to mind. At first, I wanted to build my own functioning wind turbine that would help power a local bar on the beach. But as time went on, I realized how overambitious it was, seeing as I didn't even know how electricity was made. So I decided to learn about just that, how wind could create electricity. This demo was supposed to be later, but I guess I did it early. I did a lot of research on the history of electricity, and I think it's pretty cool, so I'd like to share it with you all today. Around 1752, a very strange man, I'm sure you've heard of him, Benjamin Franklin. He was a number of things, including a scientist and a physicist. And one day, he looked upon the sky for inspiration and decided that it'd be a good idea to fly a kite during a thunderstorm. This may have seemed like a madman's idea at the time, but with that curiosity, Benjamin Franklin sparked electricity's development. Fast forward to the 1800s, where an Italian guy named Alessandro Volta was messing around with some metals, paper, and salt water, and accidentally created the world's first battery, or at least the technologies needed to make a battery. And with a couple hundred more years of innovations, Volta's tech is now powering your phones. Not so long after Volta, a very peculiar but brilliant man named Nikola Tesla created the world's first electric induction motor. The electric induction motor, as you saw, could turn mechanical energy into electrical energy. And soon after Tesla, Albert Einstein found the famous E=mc² formula. All of these incredible ideas and innovations have allowed us to do incredible things, like going to space and visiting the deepest parts of the ocean. Despite all of these incredible innovations in electricity and improvements in life, it has also brought the unintended consequences of accelerating climate change. The Earth's average surface temperature has increased by about 1.8 Fahrenheit, or 1 degree Celsius, since the late 1800s. This is due to the fact that electricity, as the majority of humans use it today, is produced by burning oil, fossil fuels, and coal. Almost all of the time, these materials aren't sourced sustainably, causing large amounts of CO2 and greenhouse gases to be released into our atmosphere. And it's crazy to think that in the last 3.5 billion years of recorded life on Earth, we have caused 2 of the hottest years in history. People suggest that we just switch to renewable energy now, as that would solve almost all of our problems with climate change. But the truth is, even if we did, even if we could switch, we're not equipped to rely 100% on renewable energy right now. And even if we could, we would still need to take many more steps in preventing Earth's temperature from rising further. We've had spikes in development over the past few years, and if we can continue on this course, we can still rely on coal and oil for energy while developing and transitioning to renewable energy. Step by step, all over the world, renewable energy will slowly take over and become the norm. I started by trying to make models of wind turbines and experimenting with building generators. Like this one. This was an early model prototype of a generator that I was working on at the beginning of Quest. Although it didn't work, I've also tried making others, and I've not yet succeeded in what I want. But I have learned from each and every experience, and I plan to continue my quest to build for renewable energy. I invite you all to try, build, learn, or even invent your own form of renewable energy. Be it for around the house, a personal project, or for the community, it doesn't matter, because after all, it is creative minds that is going to save us. Cannot believe that my quest started with an idea and some scribbles on the sand on a late Friday night. And I know I could have never gone this far without the help of all my teachers, friends, and mentors. So I'd like to give a huge thank you to Ibu Angie, Ibu Laura, Pack Low, Pack Driver, the Marcoms team, the iHub team, my mentor Steve, Matthew for letting me borrow his bicycle, and finally, I would like to end my quest speech with a quote by Jane Goodall. You cannot go a single day without having an impact on the world around you. What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. Thank you.